Alright, Truck Driving Mylan here. Want to go over some building tips from this Huztl Farmertec MS660. Show you the tools I use. Regular screwdriver, Phillips head, a small large pair of needle nose, adjustable pliers, adjustable crescent wrench, some hemostats, the T27 wrench, and this I got from a guy called, goes by Pepsi Kid. I think it was on Amazon or eBay, I don't recall. That's the crankshaft puller. Use some Farmertec thread locker. You'll need this 13 millimeter deep socket for the compression release. Push and lube by Oregon. A little grease, Farmertec's Ultra Slick for the bearings, and coated cylinder wall. Use the brake clean for inside the case halves. It was a lot of machining grit left inside. One thing I want to point out, this annular groove, this rubber bumper here, you want to install this on the case half, because as you can see, once this handle, not that handle, but the gas tank assembly goes in place, the screws for that are blocked. As you can see from the side, there's no way. There's a screw on the other side also. No way you'll be able to get to those with the gas tank assembly on. There's a little gasket that goes on. There's a nub for that raised detent there. I used this, bought these piston rings compression set off Amazon. Ended up with one, it appears to be an M4 left over. I think this is the chain stop. It's not like a standard still with the metal catch. Here's a bag of goodies, extra bumper, some spare O-rings for the gas, and oil tank, spare oil line, and I'm not sure what that little tiny O-rings for. This is a spare to go over the brake spring. Don't know what those go to. I don't know if they're just for a different saw or if it's part of rebuilding the oil pump. I'm not exactly sure. One point on putting on the brake spring, I've seen a lot of videos where guys are having a very difficult time getting the brake spring on. What I did is this lever here, I did not attach it to the brake band. I put the spring on first and was able to do that with that small pair of needle nose pliers and snap it around the pin. And then I inserted, sorry, it doesn't want to focus. Then I inserted the brake band first here, wrapped it around, and then set it in at the bottom. and there's a little pin. It is offset for that slot. You don't have to grind or anything like that. Did not have any trouble getting that installed. I've noticed some people saying they had issues with clearance. Sorry. Getting the inertia brake to work. It clears the muffler, no problem. I'm trying to think of one other thing. Oh, it was missing on the adjuster. Hang on, let me find it in the book. Yeah, and the chain adjuster. On the end here, there's this rubber thrust pad that goes on that gear and shaft. It's missing. It did not come with the saw kit. And I've heard a lot of people say they've had issues with these, not adjusting, that they're really sloppy. And towards the end, with the adjuster all the way out, it's fine. When you bring it in, it does get sloppy. The teeth don't mesh. So I'm going to order one of them pads. Hopefully that'll improve the travel. One other thing I'm going to point out, with this style, where it's only pulling on the crankshaft, in the still book, on the one side, it has this round plate. That'd be the flywheel side. And then on the clutch side, it has this part that extends out to the bar nuts. And I did have an issue when the two halves were coming together. They weren't coming together evenly towards the back side or front side of the case. So I had to give it some help. The pins weren't meshing very well. It did not come with the heat shield reflective foil for around the muffler. And I don't know if it's just my kit. Missing the ID plate. I went through every bag in the box case looking for it. I'm going to be putting some fuel in this in a little while and try to get a first run out of it and see how it goes. Everything's stock, no modifications or adjustments made. Oh, one other thing, the fuel line, you can't see it in here. There's a 90-degree elbow. One end's fatter than the other. The smaller end goes on the fuel line. And this fuel line was in the bag. That held this little deflector. I think that's for cold weather. And the air cleaner cover. It was in the same pouch. And you can see how much I had to cut off to go from the fuel tank, top of the fuel tank, up to the carburetor. Yeah, the hose would just kink, 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 kink. So I snip, 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 snip. You know, there's probably a good 2 inches chopped off there. Hemostats help get the fuel lines on and off. Trying to think if there was anything else missing. I think that pretty much covers it. I'm going to put it all together and get her fired up for you, if it'll fire. In case you're wondering, this is the book I used. It's available online, free download Don't know what the website was off the top of my head. Okay, got some fuel, got some oil. Let's see what she does. Okay, a little quieter now. I think some of the assembly lube was fouling up the plug. I rechecked the air gap and checked the gap on the plug. Everything was all right. Plug had a little bit of gas mixed with the assembly lube, so I cleaned that off. Whew. She's a beast to start, but as you saw, she runs good. Give a shout out. Thanks to Hilltop Saw Shop, A Fleet Command. There's one other guy. Can't think of his name off the top of my head. They had some pretty good videos, some good information on how to build. Sorry I skipped the majority of the build on the video. There's enough videos out there putting these together. I just thought those little tips and tricks from earlier would assist any potential saw builders. The carburetor is going to need a little bit of adjustment. You can hear it sputtering at the top end a little, idling a little high, but with no bar, it might slow down a little bit with the bar and chain on it. I plan on using this with the Alaskan sawmill. I have a video on that. I didn't do an assembly on that, the arrival package and how it comes boxed. I've got some logs I've been saving over the years. Hopefully they're still good. Put that Alaskan sawmill to work and give this thing a whirl with the sawmill. Run probably a tank through it before I do that. Get the engine broke in real good. As you can see, the oiler works exceptionally well. Just from how do I flip the screen? Alright, now I don't want to flip. She pumps the oil. And hopefully it don't keep pumping oil like your typical stills after you shut them off. Still have oil oozing out of them. Alright, thanks for watching. Sorry I can't remember the name of the other builder that's out there. I hope you enjoyed the videos. There's in my playlist the first video I did of putting the two halves together. Thanks again for watching. Have a good night. I just wanted to add, came across the names I wanted to come up with, the One Chainsaw Guy and Matthew Olson. And also wanted to mention the saw weighed dry without fluids, minus the bar cover and nuts, was 16 pounds. She's a heavy saw. She'll probably come in at about 18 with a big bar on it and chain. Thanks again for watching.